In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a bokeh effect. That's B-O-K-E-H, bokeh. And that is basically talking about the blur in the background because you can get different types of bokeh. We do already have some blur here because we took this shot on f2.8, so that's as wide as our aperture would go, but it is kind of cool to be able to actively change the blur in the background and make it more blurry. And what we're going to do as well is add some specular highlights, and they've got this authentic octagonal shape which you do get with some apertures depending on the blades of the aperture in your lens and how wide the aperture is. You can sometimes see these lovely polygonal shapes. So I'm going to show you how to fake those using a brush tool, and you'll just spray them onto the scene and then blend them to bring out the colours in the background, and it adds a bit of life and sparkle to the original and slightly bland shot. First of all, what we'll do is I'll show you how to clone out this distracting bottom section of the shop so you can just create a more neutral and extended background for our portrait. Let's get cracking. Go to File, Open, and then you'll need to browse to the CD and find the file called Bokeh before. I'm using my hard disk, so it's in a slightly different place for me. Click Open, and because it's a digital negative file, a DNG, it'll open up initially into the Adobe Camera Raw editor, and we can then tweak the colors and tones to make them their best before we start to add all our special effects. And all we're going to do here is just boost the exposure. You can see that the highlights are kind of petering out. It could do with a little bit of a kick in the brightness point of view, so let's just drag that to around about 0.75. We're just opening it up nearly a stop to brighten up the shot. And to give the colours more of a kick, we can drag vibrance up to 20, and the cool thing about vibrance is it boosts weaker colours without messing with stronger colours, and it also avoids oversaturating skin tones, so it's a great tool to use on portraits. When you're happy, click Open Image and it will appear in the standard Photoshop editor. Now the nice thing about Elements 8 is you can take your floating window, and as you move it up a little bit you see a blue line appear, let go, and that just fills the whole frame and gives you a grey edge around the shot, so you can actually then see the edges, which is important when you want to edit them. And what we're going to do is remove this bit of blue here down the bottom to extend the window frame using the clone stamp tool, but before I do that I want to make a selection to protect the girl so she isn't cloned as well. And we're going to use this tool here. The selection is going to be made by the magnetic lasso tool, and just select that and then click by the girl, and as you move down it's automatically creating anchor points to cling to her edge. Click again in the grey, draw along the bottom like so, go to the edge, click again, move up, click again, and then just bring it along here and then make one last click to place the last point on the first to make our selection, and that should protect the girl from being edited by the clone stamp. Okay, let's grab the clone stamp tool from the tools palette, which you'll find here. You can press S to get it, but make sure you don't get the pattern stamp by mistake. If you press S several times it toggles between the two, sharing the same compartment. So there's the clone stamp. We can now just click to make sure we've got our selection marquee active, and then if you hold the Alt key you can sample some of this top layer here and bring it down into the bottom section. Let me do that by clicking a suitable area. So we click like so and then come down to the bottom. You might find it easier to press caps lock because that gives you a little target icon, and if I click and spray then it should bring a similar section down like so, and I can go all the way to the end there and all the way up to here and spray into the cloned area. There we go. So that's kind of extending the top section down into the bottom. Let go because you can't do it all in one go, and Control Plus lets you zoom in for a better look. Hold spacebar down, get a hand tool and click up to have a better look. That's not so bad, that worked quite well as you can see there, but now we want to bring something into the edge here just to hide that. So again I'm going to Alt click and choose, I'm going to choose some of these pixels here actually, click and then move to this section here and just carry on extending them like so. There's a little bit there that's missing, so I'll just click and spray until we've got a nice soft background like so.